Hello everyone and welcome to another 20-minute strength exercise tutorial, and today we are looking at dips. So for this exercise you're just going to need a nice sturdy chair, sofa, table, anything that's not going to flip on you. It's going to stay right where it is so you can perform this exercise safely and effectively. Dips are a fantastic exercise for developing the push muscles in our upper body. So we're thinking about the shoulder, the triceps, which is the back of our arms, and a little bit into the chest, our pectoral muscles as well. As well as developing our strength, dips are a very good exercise for creating healthy, happy shoulders because it takes our shoulder joint through a nice big range of motion. To set up for this exercise, you're going to come to a seat and you're going to place your hands outside of your hip with the fingers facing forwards. You're just going to take a slight step forward so that your butt can pass the bench or the chair that you're using. And we're going to slowly lower the butt down towards the floor, coming through a full range of motion in our shoulders if that's comfortable for you, and then push the bench or chair away as you come back to your starting position. There's no need to lock out at the elbow joint at this point. You can just come back to where there's a slight micro bend in the elbows. Now, what's important to remember when first starting with this exercise is that your shoulders might be a little bit sensitive to this movement of the elbow going back behind you. So what we can do is actually reduce the range of motion and extend this over time when you're ready for that level of challenge. So if I was just starting out with this exercise, the setup would be exactly the same. All I would do is just come to a position that I'm comfortable with, that doesn't cause any discomfort or pain, and then push myself back up to that starting position. A couple of tips for the dip. We want to make sure that our elbows are slightly tucked into our side, so we're not letting them flare out too much. This will just put too much pressure on the elbow and the shoulder joint if we're down in this position here. So what we want to think about is when we set up, we're actively bringing our elbows towards each other to keep them in this strong position. Okay? The other tip, so when you think about tucking that tailbone ever so slightly, the reason being, once we're in this bottom position of the dip, if we just let the butt sag down, we're just putting too much pressure in our lower back, too much weight in there when it's in a vulnerable position. So just tuck that tailbone ever so slightly, thinking about bringing the tailbone and the pelvis towards your heels, and that will just create some rigidity and some strength in your core so that you can really focus on the dip exercise itself. This is a really challenging exercise, but if you feel like you can do the sets and reps comfortably, then what we can do to make the dip a little bit harder is, instead of being in this position here, we're going to extend the legs out into a straight leg position. This just puts a little bit more load into the arms and the upper body so that when we come through this dip, it's just a little bit more challenging to push ourselves back up. Try to aim for that same range of motion, same tips of tucking the tailbone and squeezing the elbows together slightly to prevent any flare, and perform the dips to your current level of challenge. If you need to mix and match those different variations, then that's absolutely fine. You can always peel it back to the standing one and then over time progress it so that you're predominantly doing that straight leg dip. As always, follow us and subscribe for more of these exercise tutorials. And if you haven't checked out our website already, go and find out how you can get strong in just 3 20-minute workouts a week. Bye.